Hey guys, I'm Fancy, and this is the Good Wife Network, and apparently I'm losing my voice, but I wanted to start something real quick and show you something I've been thinking about with the feeding tube. It's always been a problem for me and Colleen. We recently came out stating that we do believe at this point, after all the years of research, that we think that everything that was done was probably medically necessary at the time that it was done. We do not have the paperwork for the actual placement of the feeding tube. And this little picture up here, and if you look up in this little thing right here, underneath her elbow there is a scar. That is a very tiny little scar. That is the scar of where her actual feeding tube was placed. It was placed. We've seen it in pictures. And I did a call out before to see exactly when people started seeing it. How young was she when it was placed? Because the thing is Colleen and I do not have the placement. We do have where they did the Neeson publication thingy. I can never say it, where she keeps her from vomiting. But that was because of GERD. And several different things that she actually has, and she still has things of it today. You can see the excessive saliva that she has normally. You can see that she does this whole thing with her neck and swallowing. That's why. So the feeding tube was placed. I always thought, because I'm not a medical person, that a feeding tube was such a big deal. I thought like tubes are going down her nose and through her body and everything. Guys, it's literally, and I'm going to try and see if I can do this now. Okay, how do I put up a different picture? Oh, damn it. Okay, so this is the actual size of the actual little feeding tube. Do you see how big that is? That is very tiny. It is like this, and it went right in her little belly button, or right in her little belly on the side there. And then all you had to do was attach a tube to that, and food would go right down into her stomach. No tubes inside, nothing down the nose, no major things, okay? So we're back to this picture, and it made me start thinking about this. And so I really began to wonder, so if Colleen and I believe everything was done that was medically necessary at the time that it was done, and this feeding tube was placed when she was between 5 and 7 years old. We have it in the files, but we don't have the actual placement. We just have the other surgeries. Then only time that she was ever seen with this ever again was every time she would go to the emergency room once in a while, it would get infected. Why was it getting infected? Because they weren't flushing it, because they weren't using it. It just became a really great way for Dee Dee and Gypsy to be like, oh my God, my daughter's so freaking sick. Look at the feeding tube. Because nothing else was visible. The feeding tube was visible. I'm telling you guys, when you've been sold a fucking lie, so was I. And it pisses me off. Because now this girl is still conning you. Her family is still conning you. And you're eating it up. And when I say she's a dangerous person, I'm going to tell you she's a dangerous person, and so is her family, and I have all the proof in the world. Keep listening. Think about what I've said about the feeding tube. Then come back and hear my girl Colleen give you all that damn details about all those things you think are in the medical files that are not in the medical files. I assure you with 100% certainty, that little girl up there, that little bitch, and I'm going to call her a bitch because that's what she is. That little bitch up there, she didn't eat no fucking cupcakes, and her healthy ass teeth were ripped out of her head. No, she did not. They were crumbling, and they were crumbling from 4 and 5 years old because that girl didn't take damn good care of herself. Neither did her mama. And the water down there just fucking sucks. It's just genetics, folks. She ain't all that sick. She never was. Her mama never made her be all that sick. She sat in a wheelchair. She got anything she wanted, and she's still fucking fooling you. Wake up!